Hello, how's it going? Oops, where's the camera? Okay, let's see if we can darken that a bit. Sun's out. What kind of rainy season is this? Anyway, welcome back to my chats, walking. Oh my god. Holy shit, sorry. There's like no water. There it is. Okay, good. I was thinking, oh god, maybe I'll have to go get it from the spring. Oh yeah, we're going. That's good. Oh, it's looking good actually. Really clear. Can you see that? Oh, right. Poured it right on my pants. Oh, yeah. Anyway, okay, that's good. Let's clean out the jars. Okay, so I've decided now I'm gonna do my walking water videos. Sorry, get the mic here. When I do my water videos, I thought it'd be nice to do it while I do the water. So I've rigged up my little stick and on my pack basket. Yeah, I guess I'm not hitting that. We'll do it that way. Works well. Right on. I got my orange boots on again, which I'll show you later. Okay. Oh, I'm going to start today's episode with show and tell. So here's what's going on in my little world. I'm pretty much ignoring everything. I'm going to start making guitars as well as shamisen and kora. I'm going to start with flamencos and then probably shift to classicals. I might just leave it at that, right? Maybe steel strings down the road, but I know flamenco's better and stuff. Anyway, making koras and making shamisens is really different than guitars. I actually don't, for that stuff, I don't need any molds. I can measure and cut and shape just by hand. The kora is just by its nature not as exacting, right? But it has everything has its challenges. It has just different challenges. The shamisen is really challenging, especially if you do the three-piece neck, which has the mortise and tenon joints, right? Which where 0.5 millimeter is like a canyon. It's incredible, the detail. So for myself, I love going back and forth between the kora and shamisen because it uses different ways of thinking and seeing and building, right? But the guitar's a whole other ball game, because at least to some degree, oh geez, look, it's dark again. At least to some degree, you need forms and molds of some sort. There's different ways, I know. So I've been watching videos and making some of the tools and clamps. And this is the clamps I've been working on this week. These are cam clamps. And what they do is you put your finger in there. Okay. What you do is you put your finger in there. Don't do that, Jesus. Anyway, and what you do is you lift this cam up and it squeezes down, right? And it's tight. Ouch! Anyway, so I've been making these because they're expensive, right? Like this size is probably like $30 American money. So I said, what the hell, I'll just make them because I have a lot of scrap wood from my shamisens and stuff. This is some scrap mahiang, which is a fair, I wouldn't say it's a soft wood, but compared to my dang or my bradu, it's much softer. And I used it on my last kora neck. I think it's going to be great, actually, as kora necks. And then I actually have some other ones that I made with my dang and my bradu, which is much harder wood, you know. And I've been making the posts, instead of metal, I've been making them from my dang and my bradu, just what I have around, right? And a little bit of mahiang. The ones made of my dang and my bradu all through will be stronger. But this is not a clamp this is not like one of those steel clamp things that go really hard. This is more for more gentle stuff like gluing braces, stuff like that. Anyway, so it's been great fun doing this, you know. And you can see I've put pins in. There's no metal at all. I put pins of bamboo chopsticks. I found some chopsticks that are perfectly parallel, so they're great little pins, you know, just to support it. Same thing, the hinge is also a bamboo. Can you see that? Anyway, yeah, so they're great. I've made 11 of them. I may make a bunch more at some point to glue the back on the sides, that kind of clamping. But anyway, all good, all fun. They take quite a while to make. Like I've been working on it all week for 11 and not quite finished. Now I'm just gluing, so I only have so many hard clamps, so I can only do 2 a day for gluing, or 2 at a time. I could probably do 4 in a day. Anyway, yeah, so that's great fun. And with the guitars, of course, I'm gonna send out a Facebook message and a, what do you call it, newsletter, because my problem is I'm a really good builder. I'm great at all that stuff, if I do say so myself. Like, I'm good at making stuff, right? That's sort of my thing. But I'm not good at having money, raising money, and I'm not good at selling. Although I have sold 2 shamisen in the last few months, so that's pretty good. And now all of a sudden I just have 1 finished shamisen to sell, so that means I need to get on the ball and start getting shamisens done as well. I have a couple of my dang shamisens that are in the works, you know, as it were. Anyway, yeah, so I've been making this great fun. So what I was thinking of doing, anyway, I'll just mention it quickly. It's more of a written thing. I was thinking, okay, how can I do this and get started? Because I need to get started with guitar making. Like, I need to learn, right? But already in my head, I have pretty much not all the processes figured out in my brain. Like, I'm very visual that way, but pretty close. So I'm pretty confident that my first instruments will be really quite good. They're gonna, like, my 100th, 20th instrument will be better, probably. Or who knows? Maybe not. Anyway, I know they're gonna be good. Anyway, here's my idea. I was gonna go and put a notice out. Look, just asking. Look, this is a long shot, but is there anyone out there that's looking for a handmade guitar? It's gonna be flamenco because that's what I'm starting with. But you could choose your own woods. And if you wanted more of a classical action, at least, I could keep the action more of a classical, which is higher, right? So it has to do with a bit of the neck angle changing. So here's the deal. I'll make a guitar for free, but what you have to do is buy. Hang on. What you need to do as part of that deal is to pay for your materials. And I'm ordering from LMI in States, so there's shipping and probably duty, maybe. Anyway, is buy the materials you'd like, and you can choose whatever you want within reason. There's some woods that I don't want to work with right now because I don't have enough experience with the bending and stuff. And pay for my materials for the guitar I'm going to make first, which I'll just keep probably, or sell, whatever. So anyway, it's for 2 guitars. Basically, you're paying for materials and a few building supplies for 2 guitars. I won't go into price here. If you're interested, just send me a message. So that's my idea. I mean, it's not a way to get a custom handmade guitar at a factory guitar price, right? That's not how that will work, because the price is not, it's still not cheap, you know. Like, I got a pretty decent, if you want just a guitar to play, I can send you a link to this place, and I got off AliExpress where I got my flamenco for $350, and it's decent, you know. It doesn't have the punch that a real flamenco has, but it sounds good. Sounds good. It was pretty well laid up. I lowered the action a bit, but it was really, it's decent for that price, right? So that's not what the price we're talking. We're talking a lot more, but much less than a custom-made guitar, right? Like, for instance, a Grit Laskin. I used to have a Grit Laskin that I bought for $3,000 20 years ago. Like, I'm sure his guitars are like $7,000, $8,000 now. Anyway, so for mine, we're talking, okay, I'll just throw a number out. I don't know for sure, it depends on woods, but in the $1,500 range. So anyway, anyone out there interested in that, let me know. You'll get a good guitar, but also it's a bit of a patronage thing, like helping me out. Anyway, for what it's worth. Right, so enough with that. Let's get back to water. Now I've talked so much, the water's probably cloudy again. Ooh, it's not. Actually, let's taste it. That'll do. Let's just clean that out. Okay. Right. Oh, so there's great doings on in the GD NTHFE group. GD, right. Goddamn near-term human fucking extinction group. Anyway. Yeah. there's a bit of madness going on with a prominent human being who does a lot of speaking. I'll just say it. It's Guy McPherson. Someone. Anyway, I don't want to go into details. It's some private business, and that's the whole gist of this nonsense, right? There's some email thing he was having with someone, and had kind of a erotic connection, and then that person put them out in public. And I was like, what the hell? And everyone's up in arms, right? So everyone's, well, not me, okay, and not everyone, but a lot of people are just horrified. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, it's writing, it's fantasy stuff. Who hasn't written stuff or like talked on the phone with someone? That's private, right? There's things you can say that's just words, and they're fun, and things are fun to play with, right? Anyway, to me, it has a real stink to it, right? Because Guy is quite prominent and very strong in his opinions of what's coming down the pipe, and I'm completely with him on it, actually. Like I've said a number of times, I don't get into the timeline thing because for me, I just can't visualize it, you know? I just can't visualize the when. It's just, I'm just not time oriented, really. Anyway, whatever. Maybe I'm just chicken. Anyway, we know from Houston and India, Nepal and Bangladesh that things are coming down, right? Like, anyway, whatever. That's another story altogether. It has been incredible. Anyway, okay, it reminds me of Jim Jefferies. I really like Jim Jefferies, this Australian comic. And he's completely off the wall, right? And fantastic, I think. Anyway, he was saying in one routine where in Australia some journalist reamed him over the coals for what he said. Like, basically, I can't remember exactly what it's all about, but he says, Jim Jefferies approves of rape and stuff because he jokes about it. And the way he puts it is, well, it's like totally out of context. It's without the things, like, because in his routine he says, well, everyone says, oh, you can't joke about rape. You can't joke about rape. And he says, well, apparently you can, because I just did. Anyway, and this English comic says, that's the stuff that needs joking about, because often, of course, humor is so powerful, right? I mean, it's very culture specific, which is the tricky part. But that's beside the point. Oh, yeah, so anyway, he's saying this Australian journalist is saying, was actually writing in text in the whatever paper or website what he actually said. And then Jim Jefferies goes, if you read my stuff on paper, it's not a good read. You know what I mean? Anyway, that just reminded me of this whole flurry that's going on. And anyway, I'm laughing, but I actually feel really bad for Guy and his partner and all of that. I mean, it's so public, right? Like, if it was me, I would just be horrified. Like that, I get nervous about doing these little videos where 20 people watch them because it might expose me too much. Because that's something I can't bear, really. So my heart really goes out to them. I'll tag you so you can get this. Anyway, yeah. I don't think that's a good thing. It's not going well. Oh, there's something else I was going to say. Actually, you know what? I'll pause it until I figure out what the hell I'm trying to say. Oh. Sun. It's strange, the sun's out, but it's still dark. Okay, I remembered. Oh yeah, okay, so there's this thing, this online letter. Outraged! We're outraged! If there's nothing Westerners like better than is to be outraged, right? They're always looking for something to be outraged about. Last time it was the thing in West Virginia. Anyway. God, what a bunch of children. Well, children, teenagers more like. That's fine, teenagers are great when you're teenagers. But no one chooses them to run the world, right? You need to People need to smarten up, I think. Anyway, yeah, so Derek Jensen just flipping jumped on that bandwagon. Like his name's on this list. He signed it. I'm outraged. You know, I guess anything that can boost his cred with the tranny hating feminist bunch, maybe. Which is really a bunch of people that just imagine they stepped off the Mayflower, you know. It's so puritanical. Each to their own. It's private. Who cares? The other thing is, who knows what, this person was saying stuff. I don't know them, and I don't know Guy either, just from Facebook, but I appreciate him a lot. Like, I don't know him personally, right? I can't really judge. Anyway, I don't like judgment stuff. I hate that stuff. Anyway, but yeah, okay, so Derek Jensen just flipping jumps on that bandwagon. There his name is. Well, I'm like, what the hell? Where did he come from? He just like, I want to sign that shit. Here's the image. Here's the image I had of Derek Jensen when I read his name on that. It was a really long letter. You know, it was obviously a perfect example of, I would have written a shorter letter, but I didn't have the time because this stuff came out so quickly. Which is the other thing that makes me go nuts, right? People just want to judge and all the time, and they'll give it like half an hour, and then they'll be online giving us their opinions. When there's nothing clear has been established. It's maddening. Anyway, so here's the image. Here's the image I have of Derek Jensen now, and there's no way I'm going to get rid of it, right? Like if I ever hear him on YouTube, I actually can't really watch his YouTubes anymore because it's just nauseating. It's something that's creeping me out. I can't specifically say what it is, but there's something that's uneasy, and it's not his message because what he's talking about is important stuff, right? It's something about his Kidma Derek Jensen Jai Maidi, which means I think Derek Jensen doesn't have a good heart. I don't think so. Anyway, I don't know him either. That's just the feeling I get. He might be a totally great guy. Probably has lots of friends that think he's a great guy, so that's good. Anyway, but here's my thinking. His ancestors, probably one of his ancestors, during the times when they were burning witches and stuff, was one of his ancestors when he was just like an ugly little kid. And I don't mean ugly visually, because children are never ugly, right? Well, no one's ugly, but ugly in the heart, right? A little kid with Jai Maidi. You kind of know that little kid was like he loving the witch burning so much. He was like the little kid out there while they're still judging, collecting the wood, you know. I'm sure of it. Anyway, this is really slanderous. Just my opinion. I don't like to do this. Isn't very nice. Anyway, I'll leave it, I guess, because I'm still a little unnerved by Jensen and group's hatred. They say, we don't hate. We don't want, anyway, whatever. Sounds like hate to me. Now I'm rambling because I'm trying to do water and talk at the same time, and now I can't remember what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to stop now and we'll check in on the way back.